Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, glad you made it. It's another So production. Welcome to the gun show. Been working on my shots. See the aim, see the accuracy? It's not a joke carrying around these weapons here. Handmade. One of a kind. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, hope you're all doing well. Now that's a Google. That's a lot, is what I'm trying to say. What? Quel? Je ne sais quoi. Quel? Je ne sais quoi. Quel? Je ne sais quoi. It's basically saying, I don't know what in French. Mon ami. Je ne sais quoi. It just sounds better. I don't know what. Go ahead, try it out. I'll ask you. Quel? You gotta say it. I can't hear you. That's right. Je ne sais quoi. It just sounds better. I don't know what. But it sounds better. Hope you're all doing well. It's... What day is today? Wednesday, June 16th, 2021. Here we are. Doing another outdoor sesh. Not gonna lie to you, I've been walking a lot. I walked yesterday, I walked today this morning before coming here on this spot. Trying to find a decent spot to do different videos for you guys. Haven't yet found anything new, but it's alright, we'll make do with what we've got. But yesterday, man, when I was walking yesterday, it was a beautiful day. A little bit windy, not gonna lie to you. A little bit windy today, that's why I'm wearing the sweater. That's what it is. But I was walking down the street and all of a sudden this magnificent magical hawk flew over my head. Jay flew right across the street. What's a hawk, you're asking? It's I'm assuming a hawk is a former hairy, skinny person reincarnated in the form of an animal that can flap his or her arms, hers or her hairy arms. That's what I think a hawk is. So that's me doing some wishful thinking. Maybe in another lifetime I'll come back and flap my hairy wings. But it flew right over my head. Jay flew from one side of the street to the other. Didn't bother to walk all the way up to the stop sign or the light. Doesn't care. Doing that air traveling. Dipped right into the shrubs. Right into the shrubs like a pervert. Snatched up a little baby animal. I couldn't make out the animal. I couldn't tell if it was a little tiny bird or a little tiny squirrel or a little tiny chipmunk or a little tiny, you know, well, maybe it was a rat. I don't know. It was a tiny animal. Didn't stand a chance. The hawk came and spread his wings, snatched the little bad boy up, took it home. And it just reminded me that it's Father's Week this week, or Father's Day is coming up. That's right. Happy Father's Week. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there and the soon-to-be fathers, or the fathers that are already fathers and they're just like running it back every year, doing it faster, better, stronger. Shout out to all the fathers out there. Who are the fathers? Do you know your dad? Do you know where your dad is tonight? Do you know where your papa is at tonight? Who are the fathers? The original fathers, if I had to really like the OG, the traditional fathers manufactured in the 80s, a lot of fathers manufactured in the 80s. It was easily distinguishable because you could tell the difference between a father and a non-father. Most of the times the fathers in the 80s definitely rocked a mustache. Doesn't matter which ethnicity, doesn't matter which part of the world they were from. If you were a father from the 80s, you most probably rocked a mustache at one point. We'll bring it back. We'll probably bring that back. I'm working on it right now, but it's going to be a work in progress. It's going to definitely take some time. We're going to have to work on it one step at a time. For a lot of determination, hard work, I think I can definitely grow a hardcore 80s mustache for you guys and play that father figure. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. It really doesn't... but that's how it was. That was a traditional father figure. Nowadays, it's definitely changed. You could go without a mustache. You could go full beard. You could shave it all off. Nobody really cares. But that's what it was, man. Fathers. Who were the fathers? Originally, I think the fathers were probably they were the original investors, bankers, if you will, making deposits, unloading depositories. Does that make any sense to you guys? Do you follow what I'm trying to say? I'm just trying to say that original fathers were all about, unloading a bit. You know what I'm talking about? Just, and we gotta thank them. We gotta thank them because at one point or another, we also gotta thank the moms. Well, we've already had Mother's Day, Mother's Week. This particular, I believe it's on the weekend. It falls on maybe a Saturday or so. It's Father's Week, all right? Let's not get twisted with the dates and so specific and rigid. Just make sure you give your dad a call, you give your pops a call. And yeah, if you don't have one, find one on this. There are plenty of fathers right now. As a matter of fact, there's never been, right now, it's an amazing time to be alive because we don't have a shortage of fathers. Right now, it's the most fathers that we've ever had, historically speaking, of course. The most fathers right now walking about. So, find one, tell them, give them a high five or something, and thank them, because if they had a better pullout game, you and I wouldn't be here. So maybe it was a better pullout game, or lack thereof, or maybe it was just intentional. A lot of us came into the world unintentionally. Some of us came in planned and everything, which doesn't really matter as long as you're here, as long as you made it. That's the only important fact. We're all here playing together, and you gotta thank the fathers. At one point they had to make that deposit, and it's incredible. Look at the journey that we've come from, tiny little sperms floating around in our father's little testes, if you will, and and then moms had to be the bank for. But today we're just talking about the deposits, or rather the people who are in charge of the deposits. If you're not sure these days whether you'd like to become a father or not, take your time. Don't rush into it. You could always become a father in different forms, of course, and you just got to be thankful, because at one point or another, I know, that's the thing, man. If I'm looking at myself and my life circumstances and my situation, and all in all, life's good, no complaints. But one thing that I could, brotherly little public service announcement, if you will, do thank the people who created you, whether it's moms or dads. Do thank them, because they do a lot for us. And I remember being younger, maybe I hadn't had the time to actually look at that as a full-grown adult and be able to look at everything and contextualize it, see everything, the amount of work that goes into being a dad. Jeez Louise. Moms too, but again, this is a different week. So go ahead and thank those bad boys. They work hard, and they go they make that deposit, and that's what it is. Thank them. As a matter of fact, I'd like to thank all the dads for making all the deposits, because and different dads too. That's the thing. Life will throw you curveballs. I lost one dad, but I got to, I now have an extended family. My mom happened to get remarried after a few years, and I have a wonderful stepdad, and he's dope. So thank you, I thank the universe for that. I thank the multiverse for that, because there's always great people walking this earth, and fathers, mothers, single people too. We're all good people, just trying our best. But that's what it is, man. If he didn't make his deposit in his beautiful wife at the time, and that's what I wouldn't have had the chance to meet my wonderful extended family. And me and my stepbrother got to kick it. He stayed with me for a little while. I spent some time over there in the UK with them. Wonderful experiences, and it all just comes down to making that deposit. So really go ahead and thank all the fathers and the mothers for taking a lot for the team. Really, I don't know what else to say. They do a lot, and sometimes words aren't enough, but sometimes that's all we can do. Right now, I miss my mom and my stepdad. Definitely would like to pay them a visit when everything, when international travels loosen up a little bit more. But for the time being, this video, I guess this week, goes out to all the fathers, and for again being those OG deposit makers, man. That's what it is. And it's crazy. It doesn't matter if you were if you were in an accident or if you were planned. It really doesn't. As long as you made it out, that's give yourself a round of applause. We've worked hard. You were legit fighting against millions of other little sperms. So for you to be here, it's a miracle on its own. Now that shouldn't be your only achievement and highlight. Obviously you should strive to do a little bit more, but still, you beat a really good odd, man. You being here, lady, dude, lady, whoever, like, you know what, you, I'm talking to you, man. I'm talking to you, lady. That's it. You're very lucky, and I'm very lucky, and it's, you know, you just got to be grateful. You got to be appreciative, and I'm very appreciative, man. Dads do a lot. Dads, you know, dads make the deposit, and then that's the thing, man. Like, when I saw that hawk, you know, I only got to see maybe 5 seconds of his life. I don't know the other 24 hours that he's like, what's he up to? And I'm just like thinking, he's probably just dropping off lunch or a little brunchy poo, a little snack for the family. That's what he's doing. He's going out there, snatching up young ones from their families, circle of life, bringing it back home, feeding his young ones so that one day they can go out there and, you know, be contributing members of society. He's probably got 2 jobs. That's why he was in a rush. He didn't like bother to check what he picked up. He dipped in, snatched it, grabbed it, flew away. Didn't really bother to check if it was. I feel like that's like a rotisserie chicken lunch for the family, essentially. He grabbed a little snack and he took it home, and he's probably, you know, he's working during the day. He's probably got 2 jobs. Most of the dads have 2 jobs, or like 1 job that's always like, you know, they're working all the time. Dads are working all the time. So that little bad boy probably, you know, he's probably doing like deliveries is what I would assume. He's probably like in the transportation business, maybe he's doing transportation. Maybe he's taking packages and dropping them off during the day. Later in the evening, maybe he's doing like, I don't know, maybe he's doing a little bit of maybe he's working at an adult entertainment center. Maybe he's working at, I'm not judging you, you're a hawk, you got to make a living, it's hard out there. And maybe he's got to do a little bit of a burlesque show in the evenings for the lady hawks and the gent hawks, for them to, you know, pay him a little bit of money so that he can go out there and, you know, like, just work on the body, because he's got to polish it up, he's got to make it look nice, so that when he's out there working, you know, they don't like, if you're flapping your wings missing a few feathers, they're gonna be like, what kind of, are you not like a responsible adult that you can't afford like proper feathers, dude? Like, what are you doing? Get yourself a nice feather. And like, this guy he had a nice wingspan to him, so it looked like he really took care of his health. And it's important that we all do that, but that's what he did, man. He came in, snatched up lunch, took it back to the home, you know, had a quick, you know, he was probably standing up, the kids were probably eating, and his wife was probably eating too. He just had a quick bite, and he's like, I gotta run. And he just like flapped his little wings out the nest and onto the next project. But that's what a lot of dads do. They're constantly working, putting in a lot of effort, putting in a lot of work. And we need to thank them. So go ahead, I'll wait for you right here. You go ahead and thank your father. You ungrateful son of a bitch. Go ahead, you ungrateful brat, thank your father. I'm joking. Calm down, relax. You don't need to, it's all right. Calm down. As long as you keep him in mind, and as long as you keep him in your heart, that's the most important thing that matters. But you disgust me if you don't appreciate your father and mother, all right? You ungrateful son. Oh man, I'm joking, of course, but also, like, you know, pay respects. It's good to pay your respects to your faja. And that's what it is, man. You know, sometimes I'll think to myself, like, I'll be like thinking sometimes to myself, I'm like, do you know where your father is tonight? And maybe, like, you know, maybe this happened last night, and I just like wondered, I'm like, where is he? And not here in the physical realm, but definitely maybe, well, I guess in some, well, his remains are definitely on the earth in the physical realm, if we want to get technical. He's here, but mostly he's here in spirit. So, you know, I don't really try to keep tabs on him, because it's very, very difficult. I'll tell you that it's extremely difficult to keep contact long distance and with a non-physical body. Again, due to technological advancements, maybe in the future that'll become a little bit easier, but for the time being, we're just gonna have to do with, you know, metaphorical and really metaphysical connections at the end of the day, to make connections with those loved ones who are no longer physically here with us. But shout out to all the daddy-os doing it, holding down the campfire, or going out there grabbing a bite for the family, or going out there earning a buck or two. You know what I'm saying? Dads are always working, keeping busy, making sure that their families are taken care of. They're like the OG soldiers, if you will. You know, dads they'll put their bodies on the front line. They'll get bodied up, dude. They'll get bodied up. And when it comes down to it, if it comes down to it, when it's go time, most fathers, if you ask them, they'll put their bodies on the line for their little young ones. The little youngest, that's what it's all about. I've been told by many, many people. And you know, that's a good thing to strive for. It's a good thing to strive for most people. But if you're not into it, that's all right too. If you're not there yet, or if you know, you may never be there, that's okay as well. I'm just saying there's alternative methods of living. But at the same time, if you're living here out in this world, in the physical realm, you got to go out and put some respect on your daddy's name and your mama's name, because at the end of the day, you know, somebody made a deposit, somebody took care of it like a little bank, and then like 9 months later, bop-de-boop, you're out here walking about, doing things. All right, so be grateful, appreciate the people in your lives, and you know, buy your dad something he can use. You know, buy your dad what's something, you know. And when looking back at it, I've never been a great gifter. I'll tell you that straight up. I've sucked at buying gifts. And retrospectively, I think I bought my dad one of the worst gifts that you could think of. One time, me and my brother, I think we pitched in together and bought him a Zippo, which only probably encouraged his smoking habit further down the line. Looking at it, it probably didn't help him. But, and like looking back at it, I think we cheaped out. I'm not gonna lie to you, we cheaped out, and we didn't buy him the original like adult size, full adult male size, like adult male full size Zippos. We bought him the slimmer ones, the ones that are for like, you know, when like kids are starting to smoke, or when females are starting to smoke, and like that's fine too. But like some males sport the little slim ones as well. No judgment here, but all I'm saying is if you're gonna do something, do it properly. Retrospectively speaking, I should have probably put in that extra $7, but here we are today. No regrets. I'll tell you that, no regrets. But R.I.P. to Daddy-O. And RIP to any of you, like if you guys have lost a father out there at one point, or if you've lost a grandpa, or maybe you lost an aunt who was your father. I don't know your life story, but you know, RIP to the ones that have passed away, but also respect to the ones that are still among us, doing the great work, doing the Lord's work, really, doing the heavy lifting. And a lot of us these days are, myself included, we're taking our time, you know, sometimes it's personal, sometimes it's due to like societal constraints and what have you. We're taking our time plunging into that realm of fatherhood. I know that's definitely been one of those things in my mind. I don't think I'm naturally like inclined to become a father, but as you get older, it is becoming like one of those thoughts that, hey man, down the line, it's one of those decisions that you're probably gonna have to end up making a commitment to somewhere between the 30 and 40 period. I mean, you could definitely do it later down in life as well. I know some people, I've heard some people, actually my dad's dad, my grandpa from my dad's side of family, I think his age difference between him and my dad was like 50 years. So technically speaking, there's people still becoming fathers in their 50s, sometimes the rare occasion 60s, 70s, you never know. But it's one of those things that if you want to become a father or a mother, you probably want to do it sometime. You know, you don't want to do it too early. Like you don't want to do it when you're like 12, dude. Let's not like, you know, let's not like, you know, put the stuff that goes before the cart, whether or after the cart, whether it's a horse or an engine, or let's not get carried away here. But at the same time, you don't want to also be pushing it. Like you don't want to become a father at like 80, because like being a father at 80, although that might definitely give you a lot of life perspective and wisdom for you to pass down to your children, you might not be able to, you know, you may want to, at that point, again, if you're a father or a mother, one of your partners, which depending on whichever one is super old, you probably want to make sure that the other partner is balancing you out. Like if you're in your 80s and you're a male or a female and you'd like to become a father or a mother, you'd probably want to, you know, match up with somebody who's a little bit younger, so that at least somebody can toss a ball and catch a ball and change a couple of diapers between you and the baby. So keep everything in mind. And that's one thing that I've always been, you know, trying to like really look at, coming down on myself. I'm like, is this something that, and you really got to think about it. And if it's not, I really want to do, like, I'll tell you what I do know for sure. I don't ever want to make a accidental deposit. That's what I'm saying, dude. And then that's fine too. No judging. I was probably an accident. I mean, there wasn't a lot of preparation that went to the births back in the day. It was just like most of the parents got together. They, you know, did a little bit of schooling, a little bit of working, got together, had a couple of babies, and boom, here we are. But like, I think moving forward, generationally speaking, I think we're getting better at planning things out of, you know, thinking ahead, having a little bit of foresight. And you know, you really got to think about these things because they're not easy decisions. So take your time. Don't rush into anything. Don't be a hero. Put it down. If you're not ready, put it down. Don't be a hero, son. That's what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's been another So-So production. Glad you made it. It's Wednesday and we're doing more kicking butt taking names every day. We're here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, doing things together. Thank you very much for coming out here, joining me every week. Thank you for the love and support. Go ahead and hit that like button on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Search Rob Sadri on YouTube. Over there you'll get the full length videos. And if you want to really support your boy, take it to the next level, you go ahead and click on that link below my name on the Patreon page, or rather below my name on the Instagram page, and then direct yourself to the Patreon page. What I'm trying to say is that if you can't sit still, and if you got an extra 5 or 10, 15 bucks in your pocket and you're like, man, I really want to test, I don't know if I could become a father, here's your chance. I'm providing you with an opportunity to basically sponsor or adopt a man baby, if you will. It's very much similar to those infomercials they used to run back in the day when you were eating breakfast and, you know, feeling guilty about every bite that you took, and you saw a child somewhere in a periphery country and they had flies all over their face, and you're like, oh shucks. But you also wonder, man, I wonder what it'd be like to, you know, reach out to somebody. Well, here's your chance, man. Take it. Olive branch extended. You're welcome. Changing lives every day, really. That's what we're all about. Creating magic and miracles. I love you guys. Thank you for all the love and support. We'll be back here again on Friday. Stay tuned, everybody, but at the same time, pick up that phone, go give somebody a hug. Make sure it's your own dad. If you can't find one, there's like, what did I say in the beginning of the video? Plenty of dads. Today we have the most dads we've ever had. Grab a dad, thank them. All right, we'll talk very soon, boys and girls. Stay safe out there. Peace out.